Okay, so here's the way we can think about this question, right? So for now, I'm just gonna assume that both the first and the second one have the same concentration, right? That'll make our life a little bit easier. So the first experiment, the one on the left here, has a smaller volume, and the right experiment has a larger volume. And in both cases, we're using the same sized rocks. Now, the main difference is only the volume. The concentration in both cases are the same. So in this case, the yellow ones, those are your acids, right? The concentration, right, how much particles of acid is in a set amount of volume is exactly the same. Now, we can clearly see that the one on the right will have more acid particles, right? You have more of the yellow circles. But at the end of the day, the concentration is still the same. And that's really the one that's going to be affecting the number of collisions in against the calcium carbonate. And really, the only particles that we care about are the ones that are directly next to the calcium carbonate. Right. So if we look at the particles, the acid particles directly next to calcium carbonate, they're still roughly the same because the concentration is the same. Even though you have all of these other particles out here, they don't really matter because those particles will not interact with the calcium carbonate anyways. So in reality, changing the volume shouldn't change the rate of collisions at all, because even though we have a lot more particles on the right side, those particles won't interact with the calcium carbonate. They won't collide with the calcium carbonate. Right, so that's the reason why the answer was actually B, right? The changing of the volume doesn't really matter. We only the way we change the number of particles is only by changing the concentration, right? So in the diagram that I'm showing you right now, obviously it has the same concentration, so they both will have the same amount of collisions. But from the one that you showed me, it says that the concentration is half, right? So when the concentration is half, and then the volume doubled, even though they're in both cases they will have the same number of particles, the particles will be a lot more spread out, right? And the particles near to the rock itself will be a lot fewer compared to the first case here, right? So that's why the answer for that one is B instead of A, right? The only one that really matters is the concentration itself. The volume doesn't really matter with regards to the number of collisions on the calcium carbonate.